Welcome back, guys. Today we have a video on ship armor angle, and today we're going to be taking a look at the British Tier 6 premium battleship Nelson. We have a capture the base game on Trident. This is a little bit smaller game, 7v7. We're going to be taking a look at how to respond once you're outnumbered and how to angle your armor to minimize damage from incoming fire. Off the bat, we are starting on the west side of the map along here with the new British Tier 5 cruiser. We're going to push up around this island. We just want to see what kind of enemy deployment we're going to have. We want to keep an eye out also for that destroyer. That is the one guy that can probably devastrike us in this game. Keep an eye out for him, and then going ahead and pushing forward. We have HE loaded. The HE for this ship is extremely strong. It's not advisable to normally be using this type of ammo when using battleships. You will see throughout the game I will switch back and forth between HE and AP, but I do like, because you can get 10,000 damage salvos with the three turrets. So the Nelson is a little unique. It has three turrets, three guns each. All three turrets are in front of the superstructure. The only other ship that's really like this in the game is the Linen. So it makes it easy. You can pretty easily get all three guns on target. So here off the bat, we're going to fire a salvo at the New Mexico, get a 10,000k damage. It's a great start. And then we see the Booty Downy pop up here, and we're going to immediately switch over to AP. Taking a look at the mini-map there, again, we're looking to see if the enemy destroyer has been spotted. So far we haven't, but we're just going to kind of slow down a little bit, use this island here to our right as a little bit of cover, while also shooting at the two cruisers that have popped up. We line up a shot on the Budiani. He does a great job of turning out of our fire, and we shoot a nice little outline around him. We see the graph speed starting to come around the island due north. We're going to turn a little bit here. We want to make sure our armor is angled in order to kind of minimize the profile of the ship. The Budiani does run aground here. We want to make sure to shoot him as soon as possible. Shooting stationary targets or targets that are moving slow are always the easiest in the game. We turn just enough to get all three guns lined up on him. Fire a shot. Fortunately, not able to get the kill, but leave him crippled, and our teammate will clean it up. And then we see the New Mexico here. New Mexico poses a great threat. The armor penetration on the American battleships is fantastic, and the armor on the front of the Nelson is a little weak. It can be overpinned, but if you have it angled properly, it will protect yourself pretty well. Graspy sneaks around. We pop a shot at him. While his guns do have somewhat of a punch, they're not a huge threat to us on a battleship. Especially with the cruiser, the closer target for him, he most likely won't be paying attention to us. Our enemy cruiser goes down, then all of a sudden we see another battleship to the northeast of the island here, and we're outnumbered 3-1 on this side. So we immediately kick it into reverse, and we want to make sure we prolong the battle, able to protect ourselves as much as possible. Here I'm not angled well enough. The Nelson is a good cheat sheet, so with the three guns, if you're angled well, you'll only be able to fire two of them. So right here you can still see that all three are shown as on target, which means I probably have it turned a little bit too much broadside towards this New Mexico, and I'm going to pay for it right here. He's going to get that Citadel up front, and I immediately fire my salvo on him, and then start turning to start protecting myself a little bit better. Again, I want to get it so that he's going to be at a 45-degree angle to my armor. Much better chance of bouncing. Now at this point, I want you to take a look at where my health point is. It's at 44,983 health points remaining. We're going to be going up against two battleships here, and I think the angling is really what rewards us and allows us to stay alive. So this first salvo, he misses quite a bit, but we bounce shells. We fire a salvo back at him because he is a little broadside to us, but not enough for the AP to really do a lot. So we're going to switch back to HE, try to get some fires on him, try to get some large chunks of damage. So at this point, keep an eye out, making sure we're not going to get crossfired from the east. We see that our team is still over there decently. We have a same number of ships on each team. So really we just need to focus on the New Mexico right here in front of us, keeping him angled so that he can't damage us. Again, look at that salvo there. Lots of bounces. I'm able to turn out, get that third gun on real quick, and then immediately reverse back to where it was only 2 guns on target. And right there we get 2 fires in that salvo. Now, the other second New Mexico is starting to come in, and we need to make sure we're angled up against him. Right now we're doing well angling. Let's ask some support from teammates because 2v1 is never a good situation to be in. We're going to go ahead and switch to shooting the second New Mexico. We have AP loaded, aiming just out in front of him. We want to hit just above the waterline, get a solid salvo there. Now we're switching back. We want to pay attention to the New Mexico. It's a little bit to the west. Kind of doing a slalom here, going back and forth left and right to make sure that we're angled optimally to bounce both ship shells. So here we're a couple more minutes in. We're still at 40,725, and we've been putting up with about 5 or 6 different salvos from these ships. Here we're able to get one last salvo on the New Mexico to the east before he slips behind the island, and now the second New Mexico comes back around from the island to our west. Making sure to keep our nose not pointed directly at him, slightly to the right or left depending on where we are. Since we have the second battleship to our east, we want to make sure that we keep our nose pointed between them two. Here we get a AP salvo off because he is being a little bit lazy with his angling. We're able to get decent shots on him, and ultimately the angling is what's going to win us this battle. He has us at a little bit of an angle, but not really enough to make a big difference. Here we're still floating around right around the 45-degree angle to him and his guns. We're making sure to swing back and forth between salvos. Most American ships are going to have a reload time of 30 seconds, maybe slightly more. So with that knowledge, we can kind of time his salvos and have an idea of when he's going to be shooting. So as we swing back around, get the nose pointed a little bit closer to him, but not all the way straight into him. We're going to have another salvo here. We bounce all of them, and we're able to finish him off here with a salvo of AP, shooting just above the waterline, a little bit ahead of him, and closing it off. Fortunately, our team did come back towards the cap here and distracted the southern New Mexico. If he would have been paying attention, he probably would have had a really solid shot on us, could have done a lot of damage. Fortunately, the Normandy did come back support, and at this point we're just focusing on getting him, this second New Mexico, out of the game and a win for our team. This New Mexico is doing a fantastic job of angling. The armor scheme on the New Mexico actually allows him to put the nose right at us. Unfortunately for him, he is catching fire from both sides, kind of in a no-win situation. He's just trying to remain alive and do as much damage as he can while he's alive. So he is focusing on the Normandy, making sure all his guns are able to fire on the Normandy. Here, as the game ends, our team is able to go ahead and finish off the New Mexico and get the win. But generally speaking, keep an eye on your ship. Know where the other battleships are on the map. You want to make sure that you're angled against them. You don't want to be getting blindsided with shots. If you have any questions, concerns, leave below in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.